You have surely seen this with your own eyes, perhaps in a cafe, on the street, or within a circle of mutual acquaintances, a couple that, at first glance, seems illogical. He is dressed simply, without an expensive watch, without the keys to a luxury car spinning on his finger. Perhaps he is even going through tough financial times. And she is a woman who takes your breath away. Groomed, stylish, confident, the kind of woman people turn their heads to see. And the most amazing thing isn't that they are together, but how she looks at him. There is no condescension or pity in that gaze. There is absolute admiration, deep attachment, and that specific fire that cannot be bought for all the riches in the world. Why does this happen? Why, contrary to all modern myths about materialism and the chase for status, do women continue to choose men whose pockets may be empty, but whose souls and charisma fill the entire space around them? Today, we will dive into the very essence of this paradox. We will dissect the anatomy of attraction that is stronger than gold. We will talk about a currency that never devalues. Let's cast aside illusions right away. Money is important. It provides comfort, safety, and opportunities. It is foolish to deny that financial stability is attractive, but there is a huge difference between attractiveness and magnetism. Money can attract attention, it can buy time, it can even create an illusion of interest. But it cannot create chemistry. It cannot make a heart beat faster in anticipation of a meeting. A woman might be with a rich man out of calculation, but she will love the one who touches the strings of her soul that cannot be reached via bank transfer. So, whom will she choose if we take the financial factor out of the equation? The first, and perhaps the most fundamental quality, is an unshakable inner support. Let's call it an emotional core. In a world where everything changes, where chaos and uncertainty reign, a woman is not just looking for a sponsor, but for a rock. A man who has no money, but possesses a steely character and self-confidence, broadcasts a powerful signal: I will handle it. Whatever happens, I will find a way. This is a sense of safety not tied to digits in an account. This is safety emanating from the personality. A rich man who panics at the slightest problem, who throws tantrums or loses his composure, instantly loses his attractiveness. His money becomes merely compensation for his weakness. At the same time, a man who stands firmly on his feet, even when a storm rages around him, becomes a center of gravity. A woman feels this strength. It is an ancient primal instinct. She chooses the one who will survive and protect, not the one who simply has many resources at the moment. Resources can be lost. Character remains with you forever. It is in critical moments that it becomes clear that a man's true capital is not the numbers on a screen, but his ability not to bend under the blows of fate. A woman subconsciously seeks someone whose calmness can extinguish her anxiety, not someone who adds his hysteria to her fears. This inner solidity is that rare luxury that makes you the most significant person in the world in her eyes, regardless of the contents of your pockets. The second point is the presence of a purpose and ambition. Women fall in love not with the finish line, but with the vector of movement. This creates confidence in her that with you, she will never get stuck in the swamp of grey mediocrity. If you don't have millions right now, but you have burning eyes, a clear plan, and an obsession with your work, you become incredibly appealing. You are like a gripping book that has only just begun to be written, and she wants to be part of this story. No one is interested in reading the finale of a boring biography, but everyone wants to become the co-author of a legend that is being created right before their eyes. A man without money, but with a mission, looks 100 times more winning than a wealthy man who has lost his taste for life and simply drifts along the current of comfort. Ambition is energy. It is a promise of the future. Such drive acts hypnotically, showing that your current difficulties are merely temporary decorations before inevitable success. When a woman sees that you are working on something big, that you do not give up, that you are evolving every day, she invests her emotions in your potential. She wants to be the one who provided the support, metaphorically speaking, who believed when no one else believed. This creates a deep emotional connection, a sense of belonging to the creation of something great. She chooses a man creator, not a man consumer. The third secret ingredient is emotional intelligence and the ability to feel deeply. In a world where many men are closed off, cold, or cynical, the ability to genuinely listen and hear becomes the rarest of gifts. She craves to find someone who can decode her silence as easily as others read the morning headlines. It is important for a woman to be understood, not just heard while you nod, thinking about your own affairs, but truly understood. After all, loneliness within a couple, when you are speaking to an indifferent wall, is the most destructive feeling that can quietly kill even the strongest love. A man who can read her mood by the undertones of her voice, who notices details, who is not afraid of deep conversations, holds the keys to her heart. Money often serves as a shield with which men wall themselves off from real intimacy. I bought you a gift. What else do you need? This is a road to nowhere. Gifts can distract for a short while, but they will never replace the warmth of genuine participation, which is so catastrophically lacking in the modern glossy world. But attention, expressed in sincere interest in her inner world, is worth more than any diamonds. If you know how to make her laugh when she is sad, calm her when she is anxious, and inspire her when she is tired, you become irreplaceable. Emotional intimacy cannot be bought, it can only be created. And he who knows how to create it will always be a winner. Next comes unpredictability and spontaneity. Routine is the killer of passion. Often, wealth brings predictability. Expensive restaurants, resorts on schedule, everything according to protocol. In this ideal but bland scheme, the living pulse of the relationship is lost, turning it into a beautiful but lifeless magazine cover. But a man who is limited in funds is forced to turn on his imagination. A date on a roof with a view of the sunset, a night walk through unusual parts of the city, a picnic in a place only he knows about. It is precisely a budget deficit that often becomes the catalyst for the brightest memories because it forces you to invest not money, but a piece of yourself into the date. Creativity is a sign of high intelligence. When you surprise a woman not with a check, but with an idea, it etches into memory much deeper. A woman chooses a man with whom it is interesting to live, not just to exist in comfort, but to truly live a life full of emotions and impressions. No one wants their days to resemble a waiting room in an expensive airport, sterile, comfortable, but unbearably boring and meaningless. The ability to turn an ordinary grey Tuesday into a small adventure is a talent. And if you possess this talent, the lack of excess funds will become merely a reason for even more original solutions that she will recall with a smile for years. Another critically important aspect is your physical form and attitude toward your body. This is the only thing that cannot be bought, cannot be borrowed, and cannot be faked. Here, it is impossible to cheat or delegate the task to an assistant. Every muscle definition is paid for exclusively with your personal sweat and time. Your body is a direct reflection of your discipline and self-respect. A man who takes care of himself, who is strong and energetic, broadcasts vitality. This is pure biology. Health and energy attract. If you have no money, but you have built an athletic body, you are already demonstrating qualities necessary for success: patience, persistence, will. For her, this is an unconscious signal of reliability. If a person could conquer their own laziness and build themselves, they can conquer any external circumstances. A woman looks at such a man and sees potential in him. She sees a person who can sculpt himself. This is incredibly sexy. Such a man is perceived as a winner at his core before he even speaks a word. While an out-of-shape millionaire may only evoke a desire to use his resources, a fit, energetic guy evokes a desire to be near, to touch, to feel that energy. One cannot forget about a sense of humor. It is the universal solvent for any problem. Laughter is the shortest path between two people. When you laugh together, invisible walls crumble, and protective barriers that could have stood between you for months vanish in an instant. The ability to laugh at yourself, to diffuse a situation, to see the comic in a difficult moment, is a sign of high intelligence and psychological stability. A person who takes himself too seriously is fragile and vulnerable, while one who can meet failure with irony becomes practically invulnerable in her eyes. Women adore men who make them laugh. It gives a sense of lightness. She is not looking for another strict teacher or grim critic, but a partner with whom she can finally exhale and just relax. Life itself is hard, and if you are a source of heaviness and gloom, no amount of money will keep a woman near for long. But if it is easy with you, if it is fun with you, if your humor is subtle and appropriate, you become a source of dopamine that one wants to return to again and again. Shared laughter creates your personal secret language, understandable only to the two of you, and this binds stronger than any official vows or obligations. But there is an even deeper layer. This is honesty and authenticity. Being yourself is a luxury that many are afraid to afford. In the era of social media and endless filters, where everyone tries to sell an improved version of their life, being real becomes the scarcest and most expensive commodity. Men often try to seem like someone else, more successful, cooler, more knowledgeable. Female intuition works like a flawless lie detector, and any attempt to play a role that doesn't fit you evokes not admiration, but only hidden pity and rejection. A woman chooses one who is not afraid of his vulnerability, who is honest in his intentions and words. When you have no money, you have nothing to cover your personality with. This is the moment of truth when all decorations disappear, and only your essence remains pure, uncovered, and therefore incredibly magnetic to one who seeks a living human, not a mannequin. And if at this moment you do not try to throw dust in her eyes, but openly speak about your plans, dreams, and even fears, it creates an incredible level of trust. Honesty disarms. It shows your inner strength. I am like this. I accept myself, and I am moving toward my goals. This commands respect, and respect is the foundation of love. It is on this solid foundation, not on the shifting sands of empty promises or credit histories, that unions capable of withstanding any life storm are built. Let's also talk about mastery. A man must know how to do something better than others. It doesn't matter what it is, fixing engines, playing the guitar, writing code, cooking, or understanding history. Competence is the new aphrodisiac. Hidden within it is the attractive magic of creation. You take chaos and turn it into order with your own hands, and this sight is mesmerizing. When a woman sees you in your element, when you are passionately engaged in a matter in which you are an expert, you are transformed. You radiate confidence. In these moments, you cease to be just an ordinary person and become someone greater, a bearer of unique knowledge that she wants to touch. Passion for your work makes you self-sufficient. You do not run after her begging for attention. You have your own world, your own interest, and this makes you a mystery that one wants to solve. A woman wants to be part of an interesting man's world. It is important for her to feel that she is next to a personality who is constantly expanding his horizons, not stagnating in boredom, waiting for entertainment from the outside. If your world is empty and filled only with waiting for her call, you will lose. But if your world is rich with hobbies, mastery, and knowledge, she will want to enter it, even if the entry ticket doesn't cost a penny. And here we approach a most important concept: leadership in relationships. This is not about commands and orders, not about domination in a crude sense. This is about initiative and responsibility. A man who says, "I will solve everything. I came up with a plan for the weekend. Don't worry, I will handle this issue." This is a man worth following. Even if solving the problem requires no money, it requires will and intellect. Many men with money shift responsibility onto staff, assistants, or the woman herself, simply paying the bills. But he who personally invests in solving problems, who takes on the burden of decision-making, demonstrates the masculine essence. A woman blossoms next to someone who allows her to be a woman, relieving her of the burden of organizational and strategic responsibility. This is care in its purest form. Sexuality and passion also do not depend on the size of the wallet. You can buy someone's time or outward submission, but it is impossible to buy that wild, sincere impulse that makes her tremble at your single touch. The ability to feel a partner, to be gentle and simultaneously persistent, to give pleasure and be attentive to her desires, this is an art. Here, self-confidence and a lack of complexes are important. A man who is free in expressing his feelings, who is not uptight, who looks straight into the eyes, creates electricity. In this space of intimacy, social statuses and ranks disappear, leaving only the naked truth of feelings and the pure chemistry of two bodies. This is a game, a dance of energies. If you know how to lead in this dance, if you make her feel desired, the most beautiful, and the only one, she will not trade this sensation for a cold bed in a golden cage. After all, true passion is a currency that is not subject to inflation, and a deficit of which cannot be filled by any gifts, even the most expensive ones. It is also worth mentioning social intelligence in your circle. Tell me who your friend is, and I will tell you who you are. Your environment is a mirror of your principles, and if there are worthy people around you, it means you yourself represent value. Even without money, you can be the soul of the company, a person respected by friends, whose opinion is listened to. Social status is not always equal to financial status. A bought entourage will scatter at the first storm, while true friends who respect you for your essence will remain nearby, creating powerful social capital. If a woman sees that other men respect you, that you possess authority thanks to your human qualities, intellect, and decency, this is a powerful signal of your high value. For her, this is an unmistakable marker of quality. If the pack recognizes you as a leader or an equal, it means you have that inner power one can rely on. You are a leader not because you bought the spot, but because you earned it. And finally, let's talk about the love of life, about the taste for life. Pessimists and whiners are repelling. A man who, despite temporary difficulties, loves life, rejoices in small things, and notices beauty around him, possesses magnetism. Optimism is not stupidity, it is a survival strategy. A woman intuitively seeks someone with whom her life will become brighter. If you radiate light, warmth, and positivity, people will be drawn to you. You become a source of energy. She will choose the man with whom she feels alive, with whom she grows, who challenges her intellectually but at the same time gives emotional support, who does not try to buy her love, but wins it with his attitude, his actions, his character. Look the truth in the eye. Money comes and goes. Bankruptcy can happen to anyone. But who you are as a personality, your will, your humor, your care, your mind, your passion, these are inalienable assets. This is your personal gold reserve. A man who bets only on money is actually deeply unsure of himself. He is afraid that without a wallet, he is a non-entity, and women sense this fear. But a man who knows that he is valuable in himself, that he can make a woman happy simply by his presence, his love, and his attitude toward the world, possesses indestructible power. So, do not wait until a round sum appears in your account to start feeling worthy of the best woman. Become the man she will choose today. Develop your core, be bold, be interesting, be caring. Create moments that cannot be bought, and you will see how the world changes around you. You will see that very gaze, full of admiration, because true love does not choose a wallet. True love chooses a human. And if you become such a human with a capital H, you will have no competitors. This is a path of working on yourself, a path of daily choice to be better than yesterday. This is a path that requires effort, but the reward for it is the sincere, deep, and real relationship that everyone dreams of. Be the one chosen by the heart. Be real. And then the question, why did she choose him, will fall away by itself. The answer will be obvious, because he is the best thing that ever happened to her. Think about this. Remember your strengths. Remember the moments when you were at your best without any money. Cultivate this state. Carry it into the world, and the world will reciprocate. Your value is inside you, and the woman who is capable of seeing that is the one worth living and evolving for. Do not let numbers define your self-esteem. You are your character, your actions, and your ability to love. This is the main capital of a man, and that is exactly the kind of man she will choose, even if he has no money for now. If these thoughts resonated with you and you want to understand relationship psychology, hidden motives, and the nature of true feelings more deeply, subscribe to the Psycharia channel. Here, we do not give superficial advice. We seek the truth. Join our community of thinking people. Evolve, love, and build happiness consciously, together with Psycharia.